So Per Freak MMA on Twitter, I think they're on Instagram too. Apparently, Sodiq Yussuf versus Diego Lopes is set for UFC 300 on April 13th in Las Vegas. And this is a big fight. This is actually a really crazy fight. And with how this card is looking, this is probably going to be like an early prelim bout, probably. Or they could put it on the prelims. Diego Lopes does have a lot of name value. Like, he generally does. The guy's actually, like, Diego Lopes is fucking loved. Now, Sadiq Yusuf is ranked. I think he's 12th. He's 12th in the rankings, and he's coming off a back and forth war with Edson Barboza, where he almost chinned Edson Barboza in that first round, but then ended up gassing, and then Edson Barboza got a comeback victory, winning the last 4 rounds, I believe it was. But you know, he had a really good performance there in the first round against Edson Barboza. You know, he's a powerful guy. That is Sadiq Yusuf's best asset. Is he is very powerful. He's very big for the weight class as well. He's a big guy. I remember him saying, he can't make featherweight for his whole career, but he's still fighting at featherweight. So I imagine a lightweight move will probably be coming soon for Edson Barboza. But also on the switch side, Diego Lopes is a massive featherweight himself, and he's fought at lightweight before. So he's actually fought at bantamweight somewhere before. That's pretty great. He's fought at 132 pounds. That's even crazier. I find that really hard to believe. But yeah, Diego Lopes fought at a catchweight of 132 pounds at one point. That's fucking insane to me. But you know, Diego Lopes is still very big. He's a big guy for the weight class. He's actually got a longer reach than Sadiq Yussuf. And this is generally a very interesting fight. I see a lot of people are probably going to be on the Diego Lopes side here, and I do understand it. He has looked good. He did have a very good performance against Movsar Evloev. That some people did think he won that fight. Some people did think his damage, his submission attempts outweighed the control from Movsar Evloev. It was a very close fight. It was generally very close. It could have gone either way. But you know, then you look at the guys he's beat. Gavin Tucker, he's not like a bad guy, but he was out for a while. Got chinned by Dan Ige in a couple seconds. I think it was like 22 seconds. Yeah, 22 seconds. And then, yeah, you know, he then comes back, gets absolutely destroyed by Diego Lopes. And then Diego Lopes chins Pat Sabatini, which is a very good win. Although Pat Sabatini is notoriously chinny, you know, he's still a very good guy. Beat Lucas Almeida before that, dominated him, destroyed him, and then beat a bunch of guys like TJ Laramie, Tucker Lutz, Jamal Emmers, Tristan Connolly. Like, he's got a lot of good wins on his record. Beat Damon Blackshear, which is a good win. Like, he's generally beat some really good guys. His chin does get him in trouble, though, like I say. Because he did get chinned by Damon Jackson, which isn't a good look. But he did just recently beat Nico Price in a Fury Pro grappling match by Sulavev Stretch, which is very impressive to beat a welterweight when you are a natural featherweight like that. So that is very impressive. Jesus Christ, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but the birds, not even my birds, just outside birds are going crazy right now. But anyway, getting into this fight, getting into the nitty gritty, I'm going to be taking Sadiq Yussuf in this fight, which is probably not going to be a popular opinion. I know a lot of people really do love Diego Lopes. I do myself. I really like Diego Lopes. I sort of hope he does win this. But I think that if you look at Sadiq Yussuf, he's got very good anti-grappling. Yeah, he can get taken down, but nobody can really have success with him on the ground or anything like that. Like, if you get him down, he does normally pop right back up. And he's got really good submission defense. I think that he can really get this fight done. I think he can knock out Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes is good. He's improved quite a lot. But there was actually a fight where he did get knocked out cold. And I'm not just saying just because he got knocked out by some other guy that means Sadiq Yussuf's definitely going to win. But Sadiq Yussuf, in my opinion, much more powerful. Very good striker. Very aggressive on the feet. Diego Lopes is a bit hittable at times. Oh God, man, I feel bad. I really want Diego Lopes to win, but this just seems like such a tough matchup for him. Like, I would honestly, if Sadiq Yussuf is a massive underdog, you just got to sort of put some money on him. Sadiq Yussuf is a very good fighter. He is generally good. You know, like, look at the guys he beat. Andre Fili, Gabriel Benitez. He beat Alex Caceres. Not many people get past like Caceres. He beat Mike Davis in one of the best Dana White Contender Series fights of all time. Like, he is a very good guy. and I could see him winning this. Like Diego Lopes is good, but like Pat Sabatini, Chinny, uh, Gavin Tucker had been out for ages. Now I know Sadiq Yussuf isn't like the most durable guy either. He's not the most durable guy, so he has been hurt before. But we know Diego Lopes has got competent striking. But if we're gonna compare like striking between Yussuf and Diego Lopes, obviously I'd say Sadiq Yussuf is the much better striker. But Diego Lopes could have some success here. I'm not saying it's going to be like one-sided, but I do sort of think that Sadiq Yussuf will get him out of there in the first round. I just see him hurting Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes probably panic shoots, and then when Sadiq Yussuf just stuffs the takedown, I just see him just beating up Diego Lopes against the fence and then knocking him out. That's how I do have the fight going. But I'm not saying like this is just off of now. Maybe when the fight actually comes up when it's UFC 300, maybe because I will watch tape and everything for the fight week. Maybe my opinion will change on the fight by the time the fight actually comes. But I do just think, looking at this, that Sadiq Yussuf probably going to get this one done. Because like he doesn't really get dominated. Like when he does lose, he's not getting dominated on the ground. It's more like the striking exchanges. Arnold Allen dropped him a few times. He did get KO'd with like a really weird judo move. It was like a It's like a I don't even remember. I don't even know how to describe it. I can't even exactly describe what it was. But he sort of like slung him to the ground, knocked out Sadiq Yussuf, and then just kept punching him as he was out cold. That's how he got KO'd there. But then if you look at like these other guys, like Arnold Allen dropped him twice, but he was doing very well in that fight. Edson Barboza dropped him and then just sort of beat him up. Also, Barboza was a pretty devastating loss. But that was in October. He'll have recovered enough by April, I'd imagine. But this is a really good fight, and UFC 300 is looking really good. Like this is actually looking like a really solid card, because like let's just read off this card, and also let's not forget Giga Shikadze is apparently going to be in this card, and he wants Josh Emmett, so that might be another fight. Like they're adding fights in really good divisions. Now let's read off the fights so far. Bobby Green versus Jim Miller, Davison Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt, Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage, Kelvin Guitar versus Aljamain Sterling. I love that they've got they have Weili Zhang versus Jan opening up the card on Tapology. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but yeah, they have Weili Zhang versus Jan. Charles Oliveira versus Arman Sarukian, Yuri Prohaska versus Alexander Rakic, Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway, 5-rounder, and then they have an unconfirmed rumor, Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad. So this is going to be a really good card, man. I'm excited for this card, and obviously we also now have Sadiq Yussuf versus Diego Lopes, and Lopes, he's a massive name. If he wins this, he's a star. Like he already is a star. I do hope he wins. I generally do hope Diego Lopes wins. But I can't pick fights on who I want to win. I have to pick fights on how I think they go. And I do think Sadiq Yussuf has the style to derail the Diego Lopes hype train. Because like Diego Lopes is good, like I say. And obviously he's improved since he was on Dana White Contender Series. Because he did lose to Joe Anderson Brito. But it was a weird situation where it was like a technical decision. Because there was like a foul in there. But Brito did sort of figure out his style a little bit. Very powerful guy. Obviously, like I said, it went to a decision, but he did lose after that fight as well by split decision to Nate Richardson. So maybe I have to watch that fight. I'm not quite sure how that fight went. Maybe it was a robbery. I'm not quite sure. But I mean, that guy doesn't even look that bad. Split decision loss to Fernando Padilla. Split decision to Aliev. He's just got a lot of split decisions on his record. So maybe this guy's actually really good. Because like those fights could have honestly gone the other way. It seems like he just has a bunch of split decisions. But I don't know. We'll find out in due time. But yeah, I just thought I'd make this video because Diego Lopes, he's looking like a big star, and a lot of people seem interested in the guy, and I hope he wins. But I'm looking at a Sadiq Yussuf upset here, and I think he's going to actually KO Diego Lopes in the first round. But we'll find out. We'll find out when this fight happens. Hopefully, I change my prediction. Hopefully, I'll watch some tape and I'll get more confident in Diego Lopes. But should be an interesting fight though. But yeah, that's all I've got to say on this. UFC 300 looking stacked, but thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like this video. Give me your thoughts on this matchup. Who you going with? You going with Diego Lopes? You going with the veteran Sadiq Yussuf? Well, actually, I say veteran, but Diego Lopes actually has a lot more fights than him. Yeah, by far has a lot more fights. So I should say UFC veteran Sadiq Yussuf is probably a better way to word it. Because yeah, Diego Lopes is 23-6. Like that's a pretty lengthy record. Like, he has a lot of fights. He's been fighting since 2012. Sodiq Yussuf, how long's he been fighting for? 2016. So yeah, like he is much more experienced, which is crazy. But anyway, that's all I've got to say on this, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Just let me know your picking in the comments below. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe. Put on the notifications. Share this video. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.